the Dartford crossing, also known as the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, and whilst Her Majesty lavishes in her palaces, her subjects and her peasants are left to endure the daily grind of the miles and miles of queues and the daily dose of breathing in all these billions and tons of CO2 emissions. Built in 1991 at a cost of a mere £90 million, when we were told by the government that once it paid for itself it will be free of tolls. Yet despite paying for itself more than 10 times over and the legal authority to collect tolls expiring in April 2003, the government has recently announced a 50% increase in tolls. Despite offering a last minute concession to locals that if they apply for a permit they only have to pay 10% through this ridiculous permit system, this isn't good enough. Not only is this one of the biggest cons going, it also has a huge impact on those living around it for miles around, with billions of tons of CO2 emissions directly affecting the health of Her Majesty's people. Asthma, heart disease, lung cancer, to name but a few of the diseases that affect the people that live and travel on it. The hundreds of millions of pounds of cost to UK PLC and to the transport network should also not be forgotten. People have had enough of the politicians lying time after time. I'm calling for the abolition of the tolls, as the SNP did last year in abolishing the tolls on the Forth and the Tay bridges in Edinburgh. Yet the English taxpayer, already the most taxed not only in the UK and Europe, but one of the most highly taxed countries in Europe, in the world, is being forced time and again to pay more. People have no choice to get from Essex to Kent and vice versa. There is no alternative for miles around. The Dartford crossing is part of the motorway network, the M25 network. Therefore, there should be no tolls on the Dartford crossing. It should be maintained directly through the taxation system by the Highways Agency. People are suffering from the credit crunch. Hard-working car taxpayers are already contributing more than is being spent on the roads, which is why so many cars get damaged through the potholes. We need a break. We call on the politicians and the powers to be. If you genuinely care about the public, abolish the tolls and free us from this daily grind, this daily dose of jams, this daily dose of millions of tons of traffic fumes, carbon emissions that have a huge impact not only on the people that travel on the bridge and the crossing, but also for those living miles and miles around. Enough is enough. If you look at the public transport, it's one of the most expensive in Europe. It's one of the least reliable, especially outside the major cities. So people have got no choice, they've got to use the car. And yet, they are paying more and more. Direct taxation, indirect taxation, and this toll booths, which are both illegal and unfair. The government found £10 billion to fund the war in Iraq. The government found many billions to fund the takeover of Northern Rock out of taxpayers' money. This bridge earns the government £50 million net. That's peanuts compared to what the government can find in its reserves if it needs to.